Hi, my name is Cassidy Fix. I'm currently doing my multi-subject teaching credential at Alliant. My goal is to be an elementary school teacher in the general ed classroom. My student teaching I'm doing it at my local school district in Riverside Unified School District. It's a traditional school. I'm doing it in a 3rd grade classroom, and it has been very exciting so far. So with my teaching experience, it's limited. I haven't actually ever been in charge of a full classroom or done the planning, all that. I've worked with students in the education system for a long time, for years. I've done middle, elementary, high school. I spent the most time in elementary and in high school levels. Elementary, I worked with a fourth grade class, where I would come in and kind of be an additional support for the teacher, and I would pull a small group for math and a little bit for language arts. Primarily was with math. We spent the most time during math. So I worked with those kids. I worked with them for a while. The middle school, I just worked as a teacher's aide, really, just an extra set of hands for like the 7th grade language arts team. So I kind of saw the behind the scenes stuff, more of like the planning, their thought process with stuff versus more student facing. And then the high school level, I actually helped teach in an EL class. It was a blended class of freshmen to seniors. They were kind of a mix of students. They had pretty similar levels of where they were at with their EL, but it was just the way that the high school had structured it. They had like a blended class from freshmen to seniors to kind of support that community of like upper and lower classmen. And luckily, my undergrad professor, she opened up her classroom and she kind of let me in to learning how she structures stuff with ELs and what to do. She did let me, I did teach them a book. We went through a free verse poetry book. It was like a pretty decent sized book. We went through there. I was able to create the lessons, run the class for that class period. So that was exciting, but that's it's probably the closest I have to teaching experience. Like I said, I've never done full takeover for the classrooms, mostly just small group support and kind of helping out when and where I can. But it's always been I've always been told, this is what we're working on. This is kind of the approach, and I kind of support students from there. So it's not too much, but I guess it's something. So my experience with teaching ELs has to do with my undergrad. It was a highly impacted area with English learners. So I did see it at the different levels. I do wish that the school I was in had more ELs, because I know it's definitely something I'm going to experience in my teaching. And the class I'm in, we have very little ELs, so I don't see such a rigorous course directed towards that. So that's definitely something I kind of want to ask my master teacher more about, and see if I can get involved with some of the other, like one of the other teachers who does the really lower EL students, just so I can see how she scaffolds, what support she gives for students as well. And then, what experience do I have with learning a second language? The only second language I know is I do know Spanish. I do know to an extent. I'm pretty confident in my reading and my listening skills with Spanish. I'm not the most confident with my speaking in Spanish. And that just comes from doing 3 years of Spanish in high school and then 2 years in my undergrad as well. So yeah, that is it for me. I'm very excited for this term, and I'm excited to meet everybody.